On April 30th, 2020, despite the dangers of the world's highest peak, 5G base stations climbed up to the top of the world. At this moment, China proved to the world that nothing is impossible once again. The next guest speaker, she witnessed this glorious moment in person. Specifically, she witnessed the whole construction process of 5G base station on Mount Kualamongo. Go ahead and record the voices of 2020. Let's welcome卓嘎拉姆.
Hello, my name is卓嘎拉姆. I am an employee in China Mobile Group, Tibet Company Limited. I have run 5 live stream reports during the construction of base stations built on Mount Chomolungma. And I feel more than honored to participate in the program which covered Mount Everest in 5G network. The move once again demonstrated to the whole world China's prominence in communication technology. It was a pride of the whole nation. Today, I would start with the day we received this mission and review with all of you how our colleagues finished these arduous tasks in the extreme environment of Mount Chomolungma, which is the highest mountain in the world. The largest challenge of building a 5G base station on Mount Chomolungma for us was that we had absolutely no experience to learn from. A 5G base station required totally different equipment and technology from those of the 4G network, and our team had to start our technological design and implementation plan from scratch. The second challenge came from the safety problem of our staff working at such a high altitudes. Most colleagues in this program came from inland cities. Everyone has a family, and we had to make sure that everyone will come back safely from their posts. The third challenge was the extremely tight schedule. We had only 4 months from receiving the task to finish the project, during which we had to go through 4 phases, including plan designing, verification, simulated experiments, and on-site construction. This January, we've received the message that the State Bureau of Survey and Mapping would remeasure the height of Mount Chomolungma. Real-time data needs to be sent back simultaneously, so the 5G base station must be set up before this May. In March, professionals from Huawei and China Mobile started to discuss plans for technology implementation and equipment installation. In April, we initiated the simulated experiments. We found a high point in Lhasa where we transmitted 5G signal to 5 miles away. And because of a parameter setting problem, we did not succeed after many trials. Meanwhile, colleagues in our construction team hurried to Dinra County, which was 4,300 meters above sea level, to adapt themselves to the plateau environment. Accidents like altitude sickness, rock falls, and avalanche are all fatal. Therefore, we invited a mountain climbing coach to teach them how to protect themselves in these emergencies. To cover Mount Chomolungma with 5G network, we sent 150 workers from both China Mobile's and Huawei's teams and 53 yachts. Altogether, we spent 1 month to complete the on-site construction of base station at 3 different altitudes. Although we made a rigorous plan in advance, we encountered great difficulties during the on-site construction. The first one was the transportation of the large amount of cargo. Cars were unavailable on the plateau, which means all these things must be carried by human or yaks. A 3-kilometer-long section of optical cable weighed around 700 kilograms. And as cables stretched about 25 kilometers in the project, they weighed 5.8 tons. Since cables were sophisticated devices that could not be tossed or knocked, we had to hump them up on walker's back. It took 40 people to shuttle 8 to 9 times from Mountain Chomolungma base camp to a base station at 6,500 meters to finish the transportation. There was only thin air on the plateau. It took me half an hour every day to go from Everest Base Camp at 5,200 meters to base station at 5,300 meters. While I was doing live streaming, one question netizens frequently asked was, why would a Tibetan like you be short of breath? I would like to explain it. Lhasa is at an elevation of only 3,500 meters on average. We Tibetans do not spend time at altitudes of 5,000 meters above the sea level every day. So, it was normal for us to be short of breath and have altitude sickness there. It would only be worse for my colleagues from inland cities to be in such an environment. I could say that instead of building a base station, they will actually challenge themselves in an extreme environment. My colleague, Lapin, came back from Mount Chomolungma a totally different person, with his complexion much darker and lips cracked. A once energetic guy moved very slowly and could hardly talk to me at that time. The second difficulty was the weather and unexpected malfunctions. The base station in Everest Base Camp was completed on April 15th, and it took us 4 days to finish the station at the height of 5,800 meters. Everything was on schedule, and we were all optimistic about the last station of 6,500 meters. However, a power shortage problem suddenly struck us, and we were informed of a coming snowstorm before coming up with a solution. We were all forced back to the camp. At that time, we were so worried about the progress of our work and frustrated by the fact that we were stopped inches away from the final success. When we were finally back at the height of 6,500 meters and solved the problem of power, a rupture in cables popped up. You can never locate the damaged part by just looking at it. We had to check the 25-kilometer cable section by section with equipment. It was anything but easier than laying the optical cable. At last, we found the part smashed by the falling rocks. The whole construction process was full of contingencies like these. The third problem was the mental challenge for our employees and their families. It was impossible for us to foresee how tough it would be to conduct the work in such a high altitude. Take heavy meals, for example. The weather of the base station at 6,500 meters was pretty cold. The food fresh from the post would be cold when they were sent to our hands. One colleague of mine was in charge of promotion, lost 5 kilograms of weight in this mission. He was a lovely guy before, but he turned on the beauty filter when video chatting with his wife so that she may not be worried about him. After the completion of building the stations, some colleagues said they would never take another job in such a high altitude. I totally understood them. It was people's natural response to such an extreme environment. But I also knew that they would say okay immediately if they were called for a similar task in the future. In the end, we built the base station at 6,500 meters in 10 days. When the 5G signal reached the top of Mount Chomolungma, when the whole nation was celebrating on April 13th, we felt excited and more than that, relieved. The pleasure in our mind finally melted away. At last, as a Tibet native, I would like to talk about how important the 5G base station on Mount Chomolungma was for Tibetan people. It was actually pretty simple. They would directly improve our living condition. I was born in 1993, and as there was no universal internet access in China, I cannot speak fluent Mandarin when I graduated from primary school. But children now could enjoy distance education online and the assistance of WeChat and short videos even if they live in remote pastoral areas. The gap between their basic education and the information they receive and that of children in inland cities is diminishing to none. Other new services such as telemedicine is also necessary and urgent for many agriculture and pastoral areas. They were often so remote that people there would have to simply bite down the ailments. Telemedicine could offer them solutions to daily medical care and cut their medical costs. What's more, as short videos get popular in Tibet, many Tibetans learn to sell goods through the live streaming and show their talents in front cameras. Many of them, shy and introverted before, become extroverted. It is of vital significance for people to make changes that would gradually improve the development in this region. All these changes are brought by the development of communication technology. Now, I want to tell 2020 that there are always obstacles, and our inner barriers are harder to go beyond than the highest mountain. I hope everyone could be more confident about the future. The world is big, just go ahead and speak. Thank you all. I am Dorka Lamo.